Hey everyone, welcome back. Episode 6 of Tilted PodQuest. I'm your host Paul Michael, with always joined by Alex.
Hey guys.
Yeah, so we're still kind of riding the high of PAX West. It was our first convention in a long time, our first major convention in a long time. So yeah, we'll just pick up the conversation, I guess, from there. In the time between last episodes, we did actually pump out a couple articles, at least like a dozen, right?
A couple. A couple.
Yeah. So far, like I've covered R-Type Delta HD Boosted, Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2 Remake, Digimon Storytime, which I think we talked about last time. I had 4 hours of gameplay on that one, which was an absurd amount of time.
And we had a small clip showing on our podcast as well.
Yep, the previous episode. Little Nightmares 3, we did talk about that one. And then My Hero Academia, that was a funny one that I don't think I actually mentioned last time. You remember that demo?
Yeah, there's an embargo on that, so there's much that we cannot reveal about it. But we had a great time. It was pretty interesting.
Well, for My Hero Academia, though, we can talk about that now. The embargo on that lifted, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it was, this was 10:30 in the morning on Sunday, so the third day of the show. So I was exhausted. I don't know about you. You were probably pretty tired, too.
Yeah.
But so we show up, and it's a private demo session in the meeting area of PAX, which is kind of off to the side. You won't see it normally, because you're not, the signs are gonna point you to going to the expo hall. So the average person will probably just walk right past the meeting rooms, not realizing that there's a whole bunch more games that they're not seeing on the show floor. This was one of them. So we both show up, and they just let us, like, with little fanfare and not a whole lot of introduction. Like, they hand me the controller, like, here, and they drop me into a battle that thankfully they had like a no death mode on, which I needed for that first fight, because the first fight did not go well. I was getting, my ass handed to me from the CPU controlled opponent. But I finally made it through. I limped along and finally got the opponent to no health, and then went to the next fight. In the next fight, I had to choose 3 characters, and it's all on the right up there. But I actually put All for One with One for All on the same team, which was funny. I knew that that's not actually going to happen. I'm not a huge My Hero Academia fan. Not saying I don't like it, just that I don't really follow it much. But my wife does. And as I was writing the preview, I turned around, I'm like, hey, they would never team up, would they? She's like, no, they would never team up. I'm like, okay, good. Then I did the right thing, because I wanted them to not team up. I have a unrealistic team fight against me. And I did much better the second. I looked at my footage, and I didn't even get any character knocked out. So I did much better. I don't know what it was with the first fight. Maybe I just had to get used to the control scheme. But anyway, the game is like, I guess it's taking you through to the anime's series finale. It's the final war between the heroes and the villains, and you get to play with everyone's quirks completely leveled up. So it's like a power fantasy, right? You're not starting from the bottom. You're actually starting from, like, they already have everything that they need to kick each other's asses, so you get to live out that fantasy. And it was a lot of fun. 3-on-3, tag team style, right? You get to swap characters pretty much freely. And the control scheme they had me on was the normal control scheme, so that's a simplified version, kind of like Street Fighter and Tekken do these days, and even Mortal Kombat, I think, where you can perform more complicated moves just by pressing a couple buttons. And so for anyone like me who doesn't really play a whole lot of fighting games, it definitely helped.
Yeah, like when I played it too, when you handed over me the controller, it felt weird. Like some characters have like a very different take on the movements and stuff. But overall, it's very straightforward. Yeah, it's similar to like Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, I would say. Responsively, most of the inputs are pretty well done. Combos wise, I can do pretty much a pretty good combo and stuff. So it wasn't too bad.
It actually reminds me of another arena fighter. I can't remember the name of, though. It came out not too long ago. It had a bunch of show and jump characters.
Oh, Naruto.
Yeah, no, it was Naruto, but a bunch of other, like, I think it even had Dragon Ball Z. It had a bunch of different properties all in one.
It's probably like some type of Bandai or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of it though. But as between last week and last episode and this episode, I got a review code for Fresh Tracks, and I think we talked about that last episode, but now that the game's actually in my hands, the goal was to have a review done this weekend, but as usual, I ran out of time. So look for it it'll probably be out before this episode releases on mpfirst.com. It's going to be a high score for sure. It's a rhythm-based game where you're on a track of 3 to 6 tracks, 3 to 6 lanes, and it's very rhythmic, right? You have to like dodge things or lean because you're in skis. And it's just it's from talking to the designer during PAX, they said that they made an album first and then made the gameplay for the album, and you can tell that because every song is very high quality.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I bought it on the PS5, and it's really good on the PS5, like subliminally good. I would say mention to those who never played rhythm type based game, it is kind of difficult. Some songs can throw you off, and some songs are like straightforward. You can follow through the beat, but trust me when I say it's not really a straightforward type easy game that you can breeze through. So if you have to start out, the first two levels we highly recommend. The last two levels are difficulty. Just be ready. You're in for a ride.
Yeah, like I played back in the day. I used to play a lot of like Stepmania, DDR, even some DJ Hero, or not DJ Hero. Well, I did play DJ Hero. I'm talking about the other one. DJ. I can't remember it now, but rhythm games. So the ones that just use a controller, not a fake instrument like rock band or Guitar Hero. These are more like they're more. I guess they're more technical, but they're also like they don't need an instrument, so there's no like pretend that you can play something in a band or anything like that. But yeah, I would say most people will need to stay on the first. There's 4 difficulty levels, and the higher you go, the less luck you get, the fewer, the smaller perfect rhythm opportunities you have. They make it much harder for you beginning on level 3. And like from reading the description, I'm like, okay, I'm going to start with level 2. And even on level 2, when you get to the hard tracks are actually pretty hard. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think I think I maybe passed 1 hard track. I'm not sure. But it's definitely it's a good challenge.
Yeah, and I would say the music are really, really bombing. Yeah, so give those a try. Like say, if you love really good music and stuff, I do recommend this type of games. Coming from also playing rhythm type games like what's it, Hatsune Miku on PS Vita. I played Brutal, and I can say that I damaged my thumb over the years because of that. Moving on. We haven't gotten a chance to talk about pinball as well. So last week we went back into the league, and I think I did decently well. What about you, Paul Michael?
Yeah, I did. Last week was pretty good. Last week, I don't know if it's a coincidence, but I let my hair down and did much better. So with this kind of stuff, you can be a little superstitious. So this week, I'll probably also let my hair down again and see if I do. Because last week I got 28 points, I think.
Yeah, I got 30 points. I was more laid back. I was like not even really trying. But when I get the multi-ball, I tried much more harder than I did. But surprisingly, I wasn't aiming for multi-ball. I was just like, I just want to get this through, go home, and take a nap, or so I go sleep for work tomorrow. But surprisingly, I did pretty well for my team.
Yeah.
I think, and also when I saw you playing, was it Metallica?
Mm-hmm.
You hit a high score. Yeah, talk about that. Actually, that's pretty funny. So talk about that.
Yeah, Metallica was funny. I forget which ball, if it was ball 1 or ball 2. Might have been ball 1. But anyway, I ended up getting, first I got the electric chair multi-ball, which that one's kind of easy. You just have to hit like a center target like 10 times, which is usually hard on most tables, but this one they made it really, like, just really easy. You just center the flipper almost guarantees that you'll hit it. Either flipper, by the way. So yeah, I got that multi-ball first. Then I ended up getting, I think it ended up being 5 different multi-balls in that one ball. And then, because of course I'm not really used to this, once I finally drained all the balls, the game gave me an extra play right there. So I had to come back to the machine and plunge it again. But then when I plunged my free ball, which the rules in the tournament, for anyone who doesn't know, you can play ball saves, which is when you lose your ball pretty early on, most tables will give you a grace period and they'll just give you another ball for free. You can play those, but what you can't play is the replays, which is when you earn enough points or you sink like a extra ball target, and it's specifically when you are supposed to lose your turn and then it gives you a free ball and it tells you it's a replay ball, then you're not supposed to play that one. What you're supposed to do at that point is you can plunge, and I guess the plunging gets you a skill shot. You can maybe earn a skill shot, but you're not supposed to touch the plunger or the flippers. So I did that, and whatever happened on the field triggered the final multi-ball in the whole game, which is, I forget what they call it on Metallica, but it's basically this board's wizard mode, right? Which is the ultimate multi-ball. So it unlocked that, And so I just get to stand there and watch it earn. I still earn several million points doing nothing. It was just shooting ball after ball after ball, and then finally it drained all of them, and the game. But I got like I think it was 119 million in one go. So that was pretty good.
I think it happened to me too. I got multi-ball.
Yeah.
And then when I drained, and then I was lucky to get an extra ball. I plunged that too. I unlocked a smaller multi-ball, but it didn't give me much. It was like, at least, it propelled me to second place. So I was happy with that.
Yeah.
But, I saw another group that had hit like 500 million.
Right, with a B.
With a B, 500 million. And on Metallica too, I think the high score before I left was like 800 million.
Yeah.
And it was like two other players with a really high score too, like 500 and 600 million. So I was like, good thing I was in that team, because I'll be staying there for a very long time.
Yeah, some of those groups are clearly people who play a whole lot more pinball than we do.
Yeah, but like for us, technically for me, when I'm losing on the losing streak, I try to pick games that no one would play. So King Kong will be one of those games. It's still a relatively new game, very hard to kind of figure out what to do. Was it Total Annihilation? Another game. It's quick.
TNA, the acronym for that one, TNA. It's funny.
That game is brutal because it's fast, and you can still let people's multi-ball if they drain.
Yep. Yeah, actually, I've done that. I've done that to people, and also had that done to me, because I think the first time I played it, I played first, not knowing that could happen. But then on the other hand, like if you are first, you could also steal fourth players or third players multi-ball too. So I don't think positioning matters so much, but at the start, maybe.
Maybe for ball one. If you're lucky, because then you lock two balls, unless you're very good at the game, you can get multi-ball.
The problem with that field, though, is that the lower half of the playfield is so quick.
Yeah.
Like, you really have to, like, just be lucky, essentially, because sometimes it just drains right away.
Yeah.
And it's got a relatively short timer for the ball save.
The other game is still John Wick. Like, that's still a game that kills everybody. Like, I mean, I do pretty decently when it first came out, but now it's just more of, I can barely get over, like, 7 million.
You know what's weird is, that was another table I did really good on last week as well. Again, I think on ball one, I went in second position like the whole night too. So I think I'm gonna try to do that again this tonight. But for John Wick, that was another one. I got multi-ball after multi-ball. I didn't get the wizard mode or whatever, but I did get blackout. I got all the basics. Even got the car multi-ball I think at one point, and ended up getting it was over 100 million on that game, which if you know John Wick pinball, it's a very low scoring game typically. Like, I mean, anything above 5 million is probably considered it wasn't a bad game. This time I got 100 and something million on one ball, and then I hated that I couldn't log in for that, because so some of these games like John Wick, there's John Wick, Dungeons and Dragons, Venom.
There's one more. I don't remember.
Yeah, it's another Marvel title, I think. But anyway, because they're connected to the internet, you can log into your Stern account, and the Stern account means that it can track progress. So like in Dungeons and Dragons, for instance, each character, because there's multiple characters on that table, can have a certain level that they've earned, and they'll give you bonuses based on that level. So in tournament play, you can't log in, which sucks, because that means that was my highest score ever. I'm not going to get that kind of score again anytime soon, so It would be cool to see, but some games you just can't log in.
But yeah, that was our time this week. So we'll probably talk about it the next week following up after this. So for today, we are actually going to pinball too. So this will be our 5th week of pinball. So we're now being ordered into our actual playstyle group.
Yeah, they're going to sort us. So the way this works is based on the other players that are in your group. They're just literally those that scored kind of similarly to you. Like, for instance, your position, I think you're like 30-something, right, in terms of position. But it's like a 20-position gap or something like that between, not 20, probably 10 position gap between you and me. I'm actually below you.
Yep.
But we're only separated by 9 points. So it's a very tight field. And that worked out in my favor 2 seasons ago, because I ended up placing first place for the final division. And that meant that during finals, I didn't play anything for like an hour and a half. I just kind of sat around and waited until it was my turn, because there's a double elimination bracket to get each division to have the top 8, and then those top 8 move on to semifinals, and then it's like a round robin elimination. I forget what it's called, but
Yeah.
but yeah, this is when it gets more serious is after this week.
Yeah, so we're doing our best to keep pace, but also if you have the the lowest score of any week, it gets dropped. So that would also affect the positioning. But regards to that, we'll let you guys know more about it. But as well, this September, the last week of September, I'll be heading to LA Comic Con. So you'll probably hear a couple things from LA Comic Con from me. But besides that, I don't have anything else for this week. We'll probably try to get you guys more news on Xbox and PlayStation news that are out there. I'm pretty sure we're catching up slowly because of the convention fever or something? Sorry, jet lag?
Convention hangover.
Oh, there we go. Hangover. Convention hangover. So we're wrapping up. I'm almost finished with most of my PAX West review. And Paul Michael, I think you have a lot more to go.
I do, but it looks like priority-wise, we've gotten a lot of the bigger ones done. I do have, let's see, the ones that I think I'm still gonna cover is Escape from Tarkov. That's a hardcore first-person, not military shooter, but it is a shooter, kind of like a post-apocalyptic thing. It's so tough. I don't know who really enjoys this kind of game because like. You could just have one bad run after another, and like in this case, we got our hands on for like an hour. We got our hands on their new campaign content, which is kind of explaining who or what you're exactly escaping from. And I wish I could tell you more because I didn't get very far. Like the furthest I got was to like some trucks, and then like I think the enemies are randomly spawning each time. So it's not always the same. You don't just have to memorize where these enemies are. And it's like, if you get shot like 2 or 3 times, you're dead. And if you get shot once, you'll bleed to death. So like, there's all this like inventory management and stuff that you really got to like keep track of. And like, if they're going for hardcore, they definitely nailed it. And I'm sure there's plenty of people who like, they love playing Souls-likes and they also love playing brutal first-person shooters, and that's right down their alley. But like for me, I'm like, I don't have the time to get good at this thing. Have you played it or anything like it?
No, I heard of it. I think I have a coworker that actually plays it and told me a lot about it. So I'm pretty sure he's decent at it, but I'm not that type of person that can do all that. Even Resident Evil, managing the items and stuff is like, eh. At some point, I just like screw managing stuff.
Yeah, right.
Because most games I play, I like to hoard items and I rarely use them unless I really, really need to. Even like on Octopath Traveler 0, I hoard the items, and then when I'm like out, because they give you unlimited money, so I just bought 999 things of everything, and it's like, yeah, I'll never run out of this.
Yeah, so you're the type in like Fallout 4 or Skyrim, you're practically over encumbered all the time.
Mostly, well, because in Skyrim and Oblivion, I steal a lot of things, so I don't make money.
See, I don't steal anything, at least not on purpose. Let's see. I also have Busby 4D. Excuse me, not 3D. That was a surprising game. I don't know if you saw it. It was on the same booth as Mortal Kombat Collection, which also the Mortal Kombat Collection is interesting because it's going to be like a documentary style of all the older Mortal Kombat games. So you're going to get a little bit of a like behind the scenes on how these games came about and like any roadblocks that they had or like things that they had to invent. Because if you take it way back to when Mortal Kombat first came out, like people forget. It was a controversial game. Like, people were crying in the street saying that, oh, this is the new rock music. This is so bad for the kids. And admittedly, there was blood, but, like, this was back when blood and gore was a new thing in video games, and every pearl-clutching Karen was like, oh, my kid's going to end up being a murderer because of this game. And it's...
Yeah, they always keep saying that. But I'm thinking they're doing that because Mortal Kombat 1 was revitalizing most of the Mortal Kombat. And they're going to probably be proceeding with Mortal Kombat 2 again. So
okay, yeah. Well, look out for I'm definitely getting previews of the following. Busby 4D, Escape from Tarkov, Mortal Kombat Collection, Swap Meet. Swap Meet, I think I'm finishing up like right now. And that's going to be a great co-op game. I talked to the designer there for like an hour. I think I might have mentioned this last week. But I just can't keep singing the praises of Swap Meet. You guys should look out for it. They just had their final test. I think they called it Meat Lab 7, and so if you're hearing this by now, you're too late, but That's going to release sometime next month. I don't think there's an exact date yet, but it is coming soon.
Well, for now, we have a lot more, but this will be our final episode of the PodQuest. We are going to continue with more updated news for you guys for next week and stuff. So be look forward to that. However, we are running out of time because we're kind of going to be late for our pinball. So
Here we got a dash.
all right, guys, take care and have a great day.
Yep, wish us luck. Thanks for listening.